Okay, so I was chatting with a friend of mine the other day, and I was saying I'm having a hard time because my kids see me work. Like it's just that even if they're playing and they're like coloring whatever, my laptop is up. It's just like the nature of working from home, remote work life harmony, everything. And I'm so grateful for it. But it makes me remember I never once saw my dad work ever. As a kid, he would go to the office at 7:45, come back at 5, and he was so good about that. Like I never once saw him work. And he worked all day, but it just was never in front of me. And so I started thinking about it and I was like, gosh, how do I really shut the day down and have that like quote unquote 5 o'clock ending that my dad used to example so well when I was growing up? And how to do that knowing that I'm making dinner, I'm setting the table. We always talk about our days, what we're grateful for, and all that stuff. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, ooh, did I do that one task? Oh, did I do that one thing? Oh, what did I phrase that email correctly or did it come off not how I was supposed to? Blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of people, especially when you're living a life first business, struggle with actually turning your mind off at the end of the day so that you can be focused and have that quality time, friend time, personal time, you name it, and really just detach. Have you ever struggled with that? Oh boy.
No, never.
You're perfect.
Well, you know the story about why I gave up programming, right?
I don't think I do know this story.
Oh, it was for the same reason that most people, people give up cocaine. I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it would be midnight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was just crazy. But yes, I have struggled with this. Um, and as soon as you have a computer in your house, which for me happened early in my marriage, um, it was easy to kind of do some work. Even when you worked in an office, you could come home and do work. So, yeah, I struggled with this extensively. I am doing well now, but yeah, it's been I it's probably one of the things I regret the most is that I did a little too much of that.
One, so we want to try to prevent that. And I think why solopreneurs are struggle to shut it down more than others is you don't have a boss telling you when the day is over, which I don't know any bosses that are like, okay, turn it off, no more working for you. But they
I've
do
heard of that
exist.
story sometimes. Yeah,
They do
I've heard
exist.
about that.
Um, but there's that always on myth that being the myth that being available equals being successful. We talked about that in our last episode. And then how working from home just kind of erases the physical transition. Like I was saying with my dad to signal work is over. My dad worked 7:45 to 5 for 45 years, like 40 plus years. And again, like I said, I never once saw him work. He just had those boundaries set. Um, but then I think for solopreneurs, there's that mental tab problem of unfinished tasks staying open in your brain, like browser tabs. Not that you and I have copious amounts of browser tabs open at all times. This is just hypothetical, obviously. um, and then just there's yeah, I just think we're unique. One, we're conditioned from like corporate life to always be thinking about stuff, but I think we have a hard time untraining ourselves to shut down. Anything you want to add?
Um, I mean, I agree with everything you said. The solution, unfortunately, is it's not anything particularly simple. It kind of comes down to a mindset shift, right? And a rethinking of your values. I mean, because again, I don't know other people. For me, growing up, especially kind of becoming a professional in the late '80s, which was the heyday of the yuppie. I wasn't a yuppie, but they were kind of culturally present, and this idea of being in the office at 9 o'clock at night was a point of pride. And that's still around. I mean, that whole idea of working, working, working is still around, and it's not. I mean, it's fine if that's what you want, but if you don't want that, why are you doing it?
Yeah. So when I'm talking about clean shutdown, it's not about stopping at a specific time. It's about like a deliberate mental handoff, like not just stopping work, but closing work, closing down everything that is in your brain. And I've heard a lot of people say that rituals really work for this. Um, so kind of the analogy of like a surgeon scrubbing out. There's that formal process of transition away from the operating room and not just walking away from it, but applying that analogy to your solopreneur life. I don't think a lot of our listeners are doctors. So, we'll
Got
just
a
kind of
few.
take
I
that,
got a few.
maybe a few, but maybe just take that concept. So I was thinking about how to build that shutdown ritual. And so these are my thoughts.
Good,
Go
because I
ahead.
don't have any.
Okay. So here's what so doing a brain dump. So before closing, do a complete capture of everything still in your head, those loose tasks, those follow-ups, ideas, worries. Gosh, Joe, if only there was an app coming soon that could help with this. Um, and get it out of your mind and into a trusted system. And spoiler, there is an app that we're creating. That's why I said that. So visit our website for more details. But there's the brain dump. There's the tomorrow list, which is where you identify your top one or to three priorities for the next day. So this kind of tells your brain it doesn't need to keep rehearsing them overnight. You know they're coming the next day. Can you tell that this is influenced by our app? um,
No, no,
you
no,
can
absolutely. But
you can tell it's coming the next day. So just don't worry about it while you're having dinner. Take a review moment during this ritual, which is like a 2-minute look back. What got done? What was a win? What was a loss that you can work on? And this kind of just closes the loop psychologically for that day. Like you can have that reflection time. What can be better tomorrow? What worked well that you could apply to tomorrow? And then there's the physical close. Shut the laptop, clean up your desk, close the door if you work at an office in your house. And just those physical cues, like the operating room, kind of reinforce that mental transition. And then there's the transition part itself that's something that marks the shift. So maybe you go take the dog for a walk. You change your clothes. Like I know after this meeting, I'll probably take off my Lifestar polo as like a transition. The interview's done. Now, as my kids say, I can go back to my t-shirt and yoga pants. Um, but like whether or a specific playlist, making a cup of coffee, like it doesn't matter what it is, but maybe it once you're done kind of doing the review, the day and everything, make that clear actual transition that takes you back into personal mode. I don't know. I kind of like those ideas. Maybe I'm biased because I came up with them.
well, they sound like good idea. I've done none of them, so I have to. Maybe I can give it a try and tell you what I think because I kind of have a time that I go I'm done, and I just kind of get as far as I can, and then I'll leave stuff. Okay, I'll pick this up in the morning.
The
Um,
fed up
but
mode.
but I gotta be honest, it's not fair. I was just like, because I used to be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not done, and I've gotten myself to the point where I'm comfortable stopping. I don't love it all the time because sometimes you're in a roll. You're on a roll, and you got your heads around it, and I got to get back into this in the morning. But I've just, not stopping and having other aspects of life is just doesn't make sense, and it's not what I
Yeah.
want. So, but I haven't thought about the idea of having a little process of shutting down. So I'm going to give it a try. I'll let
Good.
you
Well,
know.
and there may be some people that are like, "Oh, Carly, that's so cute. Like, way to live in an ideal scenario where that just happens so easily." And I get that it doesn't. So if you have like intrusive thoughts during family times or evenings, um, and you don't really know how to handle them without spiraling or whatever, there's a technique I heard called the parking lot technique, where you keep a small notebook or phone note or anything to capture your thoughts in the moment so your brain can let them go. And I just thought I mean, people have really been I feel like journaling is a buzzword, a buzz trend right now, but I think it is for a reason, like just to get everything down out of your head and onto paper. And I just think that's really helpful. And if there's a true work emergency, like jump on it, but learn how to tell the difference because usually it's not.
Well, I mean, just and not to do the shameless app plug thing, but part of the reason that I am functioning the way I am is because everything that's important is inside of the Lifestar app, and it's there, and I don't have to worry about it. I know everything about each thing I'm dealing with is there and consolidated in one place. All the emails, all the files, everything is there, and so I don't sit there like I used to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning going, "Oh, I didn't call so and so, or I didn't do this, or what's going on with that." And it's like I know it's all there, and it's very relaxing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of the reason why I'm not struggling with this end of day stuff like maybe I used to, where I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done.
And at the end of the day, like nobody is like at the end of their life thinking, "Oh, I wish I responded to that email that one night." Like, who cares? At the end of the day. So, I have
on
a
on your
challenge for
deathbed
listeners.
going, oh, that. I
Not
didn't do that email.
no, that punctuation. Um, so I have a challenge for you and our listeners,
Okay.
and you already said you're gonna do this, but design your own shutdown ritual this week. So write down 3 to 5 steps. You don't have to do the steps that I mentioned, but just try it for 5 consecutive work days and see how it feels. And Joe, I'm just curious to see. I'm gonna tweak mine a little bit because I have some ideas, but I'm curious to see, and maybe we can touch base in a few weeks to see how it's going.
Yeah, I might not do it right away, only because I've got my granddaughter's coming out, and we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. And I will be working next week, but it's going to be weird because
It's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to
weird.
have
We'll do it on a regular
so
week.
yeah. So I want to do it on a regular week. So it'll be the week after. So, but I will do it.
Perfect.
I will do it.
And
I'm
that's
going to put it
that's
on
a sign of a life first business,
put it in
folks.
Lifestyle right now.
Perfect. Well, listeners, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave the 5-star review. It helps us spread the word to other life first solopreneurs, and that is getting a lot of great feedback. So we would love that feedback written down or typed down on Apple or Spotify.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube. Yes, absolutely, on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube, and share this episode with a friend that you think might need to hear it, especially ones that you think might be distracted at happy hour with your friends or going on a hike. If their brain is elsewhere, tell them to listen to this episode. And we'll see you next time on the Life-First Solopreneur.